I hate talking about money. Actually, hate's a strong word. I dislike talking about money a lot, especially in my context. I'm a pastor in a Christian church and I can't stand it. I really don't like it. I know Jesus spoke about it more or nearly more than any other subject. So I know it's important to speak about. I know that in the last few episodes, we've spoke about the fact that Jesus talked about the importance of acknowledging where our treasure goes and acknowledging that's where our heart will follow. But there's something deeply uncomfortable for me around talking about money. And I think it comes from the knowledge that I know that every corner you turn around, every device you switch on, nearly every second email you open, every phone call you take at dinner time is most likely trying to sell you something, trying to tell you, hey, give us your time, money and energy, and we'll give you this thing back and it'll be worth it, we promise. And they sell it to you. And my problem is some of that, I believe, is transferred onto the modern church, where we try to sell you what you'll get as long as you give. Like it's some cosmic exchange, like God is squished down to some sort of cosmic genie. That we only need to rub the lamp the right way. Some ATM that you only need to know the postcode. You only need to know the PIN code for. Or some butler that you ring the cosmic bell and claim and receive and get. And that is one, why I dislike talking about money, and two, why we're going to be talking about money in this last and final part of the practicing joyful generosity as part of the transformation trek. Let me give you a bit of clarity. It's not that I don't believe that God wants to bless you. It's not that I don't believe he is the good father and he wants to give you good gifts. Of course he does. He even says that in his word. It's the transactional way sometimes we can talk about God. We talk about him in a way that if only we can perform enough for him, if only we can do good things, if only we do all these things, then if we tick the right boxes, then we'll be blessed. My issue with that is the same issue Jesus had with that. That's religiosity. That's trying to prove to him that we're worthy of receiving. But the Bible tells us that we're not worthy, that we have gone astray. And then in John 3:16, one of the most well-known passages of all time, and in your reading guide, in the practice guide for this practice, it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son." It's not that I don't believe God wants to bless you. It's that I believe he has already blessed you. It's not that I believe that you can do stuff and be blessed. It's that before we do anything, he has already proven his love in many, many different ways, whether that's in creation, whether it's the life that you get to live, whether that's the breath in your lungs. And then most importantly, sending his son, not giving 10%, giving it all, 100%. He has already given us the gift. He's already given us the freedom, the way out from death and destruction to live and build a beautiful, good life, both now and eternally. He's already given it all. There is no exchange. If there was, it's already done. The ransom has already been paid. There has already been a substitution. This is why I struggle. When we talk about some sort of transaction, it is already paid for. It is already finished. The reason I bring this up is so that is so central to when we think about developing joyful generosity. It's not so we get something. It's because of what we've already been given. We are already blessed, and so we can bless. We are already free, so we can give to other people's freedom. We are already forgiven, so we can forgive the debts of others. Without understanding this first part, the second part of developing joyful generosity is a moot point. It's not worth trying until you understand that you are loved, until you understand that you already were blessed, that you understand that yes, God will continue to give, but he has always done that, and he always will. That what we give is only out of what he's already entrusted us with. And so, yes, grow in generosity. Yes, give your time and energy and finance towards good and beautiful kingdom-focused things. But my third and final encouragement in this last part of developing joyful generosity is to first deeply understand and consider what God has already given you. And so that's where the questions obviously lie this week. How do you feel and think about God? Have you seen him when it comes to generosity as some sort of genie that you had to just rub the lamp the right way? Some sort of ATM or butler? How do you see him? Kick that around, or do you see him as someone that's already blessed you? Already given it all? And what do you do with that blessing? Do you see that blessing as something that you're entitled to, that is truly yours, or do you see it as something that you've been entrusted with? As God said to Abraham in Genesis 12, I'm going to make you a nation, I'm going to make you a massive family, you're going to be so blessed, but you're going to be blessed to bless others. To see everything that God's given you as something that you've been entrusted to steward and bless others with. That changes the mindset. It's not a transaction. It's just giving it on. It's kind of like those strange videos where you go, do you want to take the $1,000? You want to give it on to the next person? It's kind of like a cosmic level that, if you know what I'm talking about. And then just a couple of final reflection questions if you're watching this with others. What have you learned about generosity? What have you tried? What are you practicing? What has changed in you? And what are you going to continue to do as you grow and learn the ways of Jesus and grow in generosity? That generosity is not hard. Generosity is not performance, but generosity that is deeply joyful. Generosity that is true and proper worship as we reflect on what has already been given to us. We'll catch you in the next practice.